Welcome back. You're watching Team Talks. There's another derby for our delight this weekend, and it's all on Saturday at Stamford Bridge. So we're going to hear from both managers, starting with Mauricio Pochettino on his special relationship with Mikel Arteta.
Not a lot. We haven't had, obviously, a lot of players. It's the first training session we're going to do today, and we will know more after the session.
Did the international break come at a good time for you, do you think? I mean, it was such a great win for you, a great atmosphere afterwards, but did you want to continue or did you like the break?
When you're in a good run, you want to continue, but it's what it is. We have used it in the right way. Obviously, we have a lot of players in duty, and connect everybody with the same mindset and go, because we're going to have a really difficult game against Chelsea.
Just looking back on that match, a quick handshake with Pep Guardiola, but I hear he gave you a message after he spoke to you. What did he say?
Nothing, as usual. You know, we have lost quite a lot against them, and when you win, obviously, you get congratulated. It was an important game. It was a beautiful day for us, and we move on. It seems like ages now.
Yeah, absolutely. Your neighbours are currently top, but ultimately, do you still feel it's a two-horse race between yourselves and Manchester City, or do you see other teams involved?
I don't have a clue who is going to be involved. We want to be there. That's the only thing that I know. In order to do that, we have to be perfect, and the league is so demanding. You see it every single week, and I think it's very, very open.
And how much are you looking forward to the game tomorrow? So it's always an entertaining one, Chelsea, isn't it? Chelsea, Arsenal.
It's a big game, and we know, and there is a big history between the two clubs, and the type of games that we have played against them. It's a very different one. I think this season I've been really impressed by Chelsea. I think they deserve much more than what they got on the table. I think what Mauricio is in a really short time, it's phenomenal, and we're going to have to be at our best tomorrow.
I bet Kai Havertz is excited to go back, isn't he?
And Georgie as well, I'm sure they will be. They were there, they talk really highly about the club and everybody there, so it will be a special day for them.
I just wanted to touch about an article I read yesterday on Aaron Ramsdale. He said he feared for his England place if he doesn't win his place back in the Arsenal side. How do you approach that? Do you try and give him more games, or does he just have to win his place back? It's not easy for you.
It's not easy for any player when he's not playing as much as he would like to, but the only way to do it is to work harder, to show the passion that you have for the game, to contribute to the team in a different way, and when you get the opportunity, do your best and try to help the team to win the game.
Finally, a club close to your heart. Rangers appointed a new manager this week, Philippe Clement. I know how much you love the club. Do you want to make a few comments?
I wish him the best, and hopefully he can deliver again what he's done in other clubs, because he has a phenomenal career already. So wish him all the best, and hopefully we can get the club back to where we want. Thank you.
Roger from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Just going back to the Manchester City result, a lot of people were saying at the time that would be a massive psychological step for Arsenal to get that win under their belts. Is that something you can genuinely feel around the place since then, and just getting the players in over the last couple of days? Is it something you can take into the Chelsea game?
Well, that's the last experience, the last feeling that we had between us, and it was a beautiful one. You could sense in the atmosphere the importance of the game, and the way we won it and how we competed against that team. But it's just a game, and now it's about having the consistency and keeping the standards very, very high, because the next game against Chelsea is going to be even harder.
Chelsea themselves, difficult start to the season. They've won their last 3 in all competitions. Was it always a matter of time for Chelsea that, with the players and the squad that they have, that things would eventually start to click? Or do you think it's too soon to say that they've turned?
I think when you look, first of all, the manager, the coaching staff they have, the history at the club that they have, and the players and the squad that they have, is going to happen. I think it has happened pretty quickly. Not only the last 3 results, I think, as I said, again, I think they deserve much more in terms of points and results than what they already have. So you can see that they're going to be up there.
How difficult has it been to prepare? Obviously, the players have been away, internationals, you've had injuries. In terms of putting together the team that you'd want to send out on Saturday, have you got an idea in your head, or is it still a matter of, I'm going to have to see where we are going right up to
I do have the idea, but I have to see them all together today, how everybody is, because we have a lot of people traveling around the world and with a lot of minutes in their legs, and I want to have and judge what is the best for tomorrow, not only in terms of what I want to do tactically, but how is the energy, how is the mood, how is the spirit, and in order to do that, I'm going to have a better clue after the game, after the training session today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi, very good.
Chelsea are being the seasons, they've spent a lot of money over the last couple of years, but they haven't bought an out-and-out striker, an out-and-out number 9. In a sense, they're playing different players in that position. You started doing that when you were at Man City. You've done it a bit when you were at Arsenal. In terms of not having an out-and-out striker, can you explain the bonuses of that from a managerial perspective?
Well, I think having players with different qualities give you different options, and always as well is related to the opponent. What behaviors do they have, and what are the players you have around that 9? You have midfielders as a wingers that they only come to feet, and a 9 that wants to come to feet, and attacking midfielders that are more holding midfielders. Then you don't have any threat. You have a 9 that wants to come attacking midfielders that are constantly threatening the last line, proper wingers there. Then it becomes a different threat. You have players in the last line that can progress the play. Do you have players in the last line that can link to those pockets to have to make the runs and attract central defenders? It depends a lot of the qualities of other players. You can't just isolate the 9. You have to see the whole thing, how it connects, and what kind of threats and things that you do. For sure, if you don't have a big 9 inside the box, you lose something. If you're going to start to crossball with your fullbacks, you're going to have probably an issue. But there are many ways to attack, and depending on the opponent, obviously, maybe that option is better than another one.
So in those sort of systems, are the midfield players like, for example, Havertz or Odegaard, as important as the guy who's right down the centre, or is it more the players like Martinelli who is approaching 100 games for Arsenal? I
think it's the combination of those qualities and there are certain ingredients that you should have as a team to attack well, and it's not only the 9, but it's many other players.
Finally, you don't know if Bukayo Saka is back this weekend. You won't know until after training. England are now qualified. Would you like to see, from an Arsenal point of view, maybe him getting a little bit more time off internationally, as we all know he's going to play in the Euros next summer, so that you have more options to using this season, or do you think that's unrealistic?
Well, I don't know how they're going to approach it. Obviously, when our players are fit, we are really happy to let them go to the national team, and we always done that. And the players want to go, and I think it's a great fulfillment and opportunity for them every time they are there. So if players are fit, they're going to be available to be taken.
But he's seen as the jewel in your crown and the jewel in England's crown as well. We don't want him to burn out this season.
No, you don't, but you don't know the balance. But you ask the players, sometimes they feel much better when they are playing every 3 or 4 days. They can get a knock, they can get an injury. This is part of the game.
George, hello, Mikel. Does Saka want to play tomorrow?
I'm sure he wants to play, yes.
He told you he wants to
I don't see any player there that he doesn't want to be in the starting 11.
And on Saliba, can you just explain what the injury is? Is it an injury to his big toe? I mean, it sounds like it's quite a rare injury. And is that a reoccurring problem? I mean, could this basically plague him till the end of the season, or is it just a one-off?
Hopefully not, but obviously he's been carrying that for weeks now, and we have to use that time as well to settle, and we believe that it was the best moment to do it.
So is he a doubt for tomorrow, or do you...
Depending again how he's able to train today.
Just in terms of Chelsea, I think when you took over at Arsenal had a bit of a problem with winning away against rivals, and you turned that around. I think you could beat Chelsea 4 times in a row. So have you just got better players now? Is the mentality going away at Stamford Bridge? You're now favourites. How's that all come about within the squad that they can go there and win?
I don't know. It goes, I think, game by game, and tomorrow they have a really strong squad. They play at home. We have as well, we're in a good moment. We'll try to play better than them and beat them, and that's it. And what happened in the past, it doesn't really matter.
And just a word on Pochettino. Have you had much dealings with him over the years? What do you make of him as a manager and a person?
Well, first of all, obviously it was my first professional opportunity in Paris, and we just arrived at the same time. We lived together in a hotel for 3 months. He was critical. He's been one of the most influential persons in my football career, first of all as a player. Without him, he took me under the arm like this, and he looked after me like a little child, a little brother, and it was big part of the success that I had in Paris. It was because of him, because he really looked after me, gave me a lot of confidence, a lot of advice, and he's been a role model for me since that day. Not only when I was a player, but as a manager as well, because we have to make the decision to leave playing and start my coaching career. He had a big say on that, and I will be always grateful to what he's done for me.
Have you had dinner since he's been back in London?
Yeah, we've seen each other a couple of times, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, go to Mark from PA.
Just on that, when you did retire as a player, There was talk that you might have linked up with Maurizio. Was that something that was ever close?
Probably that was because of our relationship, but I had various opportunities to go, and I didn't know, and I wanted his advice, obviously, and his experience, and that was very important for me as well to make the decision that I made.
No, I think we need to assess now because we finished training session a little bit late, and we need to assess Axel Disasi, we need to assess Nico Jackson, we need to assess also Rhys. Broja is out because he's a little bit irritated his knee, but it's the another knee, that was a problem in the past. Yes, we have few players that we need to assess to see if tomorrow can be available, can play, or can be on the bench, or maybe out of the list.
So Broja
Out.
Everyone else still possible because
The others.
Yeah.
Yes, Benoit can be available also to be on the bench. Benoit Badiashile.
Because there's stories about Rhys James having a setback. Can you set that straight?
No. He was training good the last few days, and I think it's now to talk about with all the medical staff and everything, and decide if he can be, in part of the squad tomorrow.
Just finally on this bit, Fernandez and Caicedo obviously got back quite late.
Well, Fernandez, Enzo trained yesterday.
Yeah.
Caicedo arrived yesterday on the afternoon and was checking for the doctor and was in a very good state. And I think today trained with us, with the group, and I think they are ready.
How much better was this international break for you than the last one?
That was the worst. I think it was the worst because only a few players training, and then I think we enjoy a lot because we discovered many young talent players from the academy. I think we were training with 10, 11, 12, 14, sometimes some days with the young kids, and that was very good. And then only available Thiago, Rain, and Marco Curella, and of course Robert Sanchez. But I think 80% of the squad was out, and some injured player. But I think was good because today was the first day that we can. That is why I am late always, because after the international, because more than half an hour meetings, and then training, and try to to prepare the game for tomorrow, because only today we have all the players and all the squad ready to prepare the game.
Just finally for me, you said it was difficult, but the fact you went in having won 3 games in a row, you must feel much better about where you are in terms of.
Yes, it was a shame. It was a shame because it's to keep the momentum, and we didn't take advantage of that, and now it's to build another momentum. But I think we are confident. I think the team is confident. The players have different mood than 1 month ago, and I think yes, too many positive things. Still fighting, still struggling with some injuries or players that we cannot recover 100%. But I think we are working really hard to try to, to find solutions, and of course we are in a very positive way.
Thank you. There'll be a club update on injuries going out on our channel shortly. Alex Pilpi.
Hi Maurizio.
Hi.
Such a tough fixture tomorrow against Arsenal, but
I prefer the tough.
You prefer
feature.
tough?
Yes, I prefer.
So if you were to get a good result in such a tough fixture,
I think we are thinking to win tomorrow. We respect Arsenal. It's a great team, and you know very well that it's Mikel, that is part of my family. I'm going to meet him tomorrow. Yes, it's going to be tough because they are doing a great job. Very good squad, very good team. They are playing so well. They are a contender for everything to win. Not only the Premier League, the Champions League. And I think they are doing fantastic job. And it's going to be tough, but also we are confident that we can give our best and to do a very good game.
you say that Mikel is part of your family. He spoke this morning. He said you've been one of the most influential people in his career. What are your memories of your time with him at PSG?
Amazing memories, I think, is when you connect with a person like him, and we share the values and we share the passion of football. And yes, I can tell you, he's part of my family. From the day one that he arrived to Paris, we arrived together. We spent time together with our families also. First of all, in a few months in the hotel, and then we live very close. And it was an amazing history. And of course, for me, it's not surprised me what he's doing, because he was coach already when he was 17, when I know him. Already was a coach, and trust me, he was really good in all the judgment, in the how to see football, and it's not surprising me. He's great, still really young, and of course improving day by day. He can be one of the greatest managers in the world.
Will you send him some messages about the game, some WhatsApps later?
No, of course we are not sending message now. Before the season starts, yes, of course, but now no, because I think we don't have time, because it's really tough to be coach, and we are thinking in trying to prepare the game and the team not only tomorrow, if not in every single game, and we are focusing that.
Just finally, I wanted to ask you a question on the number of injuries. Do you think it's just bad luck, or is it something you're looking into?
No, I think I told you it's not only bad luck. It's always the profile of players. Sometimes that the history and we can assess, and we can see when we arrive here. If you start to see every single situation, yes, it's not only bad luck. Of course, sometimes it's too many factors that can influence. Of course, that we are professional, and we try to also to find the best method and to bring the best platform and tools to the player to be strong and feel good. I think it's only a matter of time, because this organization is new, the team is new, everything is new in this club. It's only about to know each other, is to try the player to assess in the right way, and to provide them the best tool to improve, and to help them to feel strong.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
John Southall, BBC.
Just one more on Mikel. I think it's right to say it's the first time you've come up against him, isn't it, as a manager? So what's that going to be?
Yes, no,
like?
it's the first time.
Yeah, I think it's the first time, isn't it?
But no, I think he was in Manchester City when we played, against Tottenham.
But
Manchester City.
as a manager rather than as a number two, or?
Yeah, but for me, I consider him like a coach with Pep, and all the coaching staff. It's like my coaching staff, Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah, what would it be like?
Yes, okay. I understand the question. No, it's going to be really nice, because yes, my love for him is there, and it's a family. It's more than friend. It's family, and that's why it's going to be strange. But look, we are very competitive. All the coaches, we are very competitive, and when you go to play against, also if he's part of my family, we want to win and to destroy, the opponent. And yes, but it's going to be strange, but I think in some point I'm going to feel proud to see him and to compete with us.
Do you still meet up with him? Do you have dinner with him now you're both obviously back in the Premier League, living very close by? Or
Sorry,
do you still meet up with him, have dinner with him, exchange ideas with him?
The last time, the last few time, no, not really, because when I was in Tottenham and he was Arsenal or in Manchester City, yes, but after I was to Paris and we didn't have the time to see each other. I think we didn't have the time, but of course, why not? In the future, we can share a nice barbecue.
Yeah, this game tomorrow, will it give you some kind of idea where you're at with your progress when you come up against a side like Arsenal? As you said, the team are challenging for everything.
The progress of them, if you ask me, I think it was amazing, because from the beginning it was tough. I remember when, because it was in the same time that we were leaving Tottenham. Yes, was it? No. Yeah. Yes, was similar time, no? And he was in charge, and he took in charge in Arsenal. Of course, from the beginning it was really tough. I think 1 year and a half was really, really tough. But I think the good thing that the club trusts on him, trust on him and give all the, the tools, and really believe in the way that to rebuild.
Do you see similarities to here now?
No. It's completely different, because I think we arrived to a different project. But I think the most important is that the capacity for him with the club, because I think credit to the club also, Mikel and the club to create this bond in between both, and really trust. And look now the result after 3-4 years. We are talking about Arsenal that is fighting for big things.
I love that story, but it's also a little bit of extra spice because you're playing someone you know very well and you want.
But is it though? Because we've come a long way since Arsene Wenger shoving Jose Mourinho in the chest.
Oh, that was golden.
Exactly. That was like taking it to the streets. This is like I was going to say the Brady Bunch, but you guys are way too young.
I'm not, mate. I'll be honest with you. I know I look it.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's nice, but it doesn't mean that they, competitive natures to be managers at this level. It doesn't mean it's not going to be a scrap out there on Saturday.
Well, look, we know what type of managers they both are. They're both passionate managers, heart on their sleeves managers, and they both want the best for their respective sides. So there's always going to be a little spite in the air, a little bit of, rough and tumble. However, once the full-time whistle's gone, I can guarantee you they'll be back in the manager's office sharing a bottle of rosé or a bottle of Merlot or whatever it may be. I know. Rosé's my thing.
Revealing far too much here on Talks
A bit too soon, wasn't it? I was supposed to wait another 20 minutes.
From a Chelsea perspective, they had their best game of the season. I'm sure of it, against Burnley. And I can tell you, because I was pitch side and I then got stuck in Burnley when they cancelled all the trains. So saw all the drunk Chelsea fans, probably not drinking rosé, but really enjoying themselves afterwards. That was phenomenal. And Sterling was the tormentor in chief. He was fantastic.
I'm probably inspired by the fact that he was left out of the England squad when he was absolutely qualified to be part of that group of players. He's done so well for his country before, and he is running into a nice vein of form. 6 goals in their last 2 games for Chelsea. Before that, 5 in their previous 6. And you can tell that they're running into a nice vein of form. They're using Sterling particularly well. They still don't have Nkunku. They still have a number of players actually that aren't available to them. But he is taking that responsibility. You know all about that, Jermaine. And how would you assess?
Do you know what? Sterling is one of those players that you just love to watch. I would hate to play against him, genuinely. I would love to watch him and be on the same team as him, because if the ball comes out to him, you just leave him, isolate himself with the fullback, let him do his thing. You get in the box and just wait for the delivery. And especially now, he's got a point to prove to Gareth Southgate, leaving him out of the England squad, as you mentioned. And I think that Burnley game, I felt sorry for them, because that was the moment where he said, right, I'm going to show you why you should have brought me along. This is what you're missing out on. Unbelievable.
But he also had to fight his way back into the starting 11 at Chelsea for that Burnley game. And so it was a little bit of like showing my club manager, showing my national team manager as well. Just from a Chelsea perspective, they've hit form, it seems, at the right time, and they don't have this great record against Arsenal. I know you know the stats.
I do indeed. Arsenal won 6 of the last 7, and Arteta has a better squad for all the money that Chelsea have spent. A lot of their players are younger players or players making the step up from lesser clubs, smaller clubs, and having to cope with that pressure. I think as far as Arsenal are concerned, a lot of their players are battle-hardened. And even the players they've brought into the mix, Declan Rice has just come off winning the Europa Conference League with West Ham, a club that you're always under pressure when you pull on their shirt. So to actually lead them to their first victory in 4 decades is quite something. And I think I look at that Arsenal team. They fought for a Champions League place 2 seasons ago. They failed back then, but obviously they're into the Champions League now, just touched off in the title race last season. I think all over the pitch they are the superior team. I'm not going to predict a result because I know you're going to stitch me up.
This is a safe space.
Yeah, you keep saying that,
She said that last time.
I promise, I absolutely promise this is a safe space. You know, the title race that you mentioned Arsenal were involved in, it feels like the title race went to pieces as soon as Saliba went to pieces. And I was saying off air, do you guys know about football age? Because we always make this joke in Africa about football age. I want to see Saliba's passport. Is he really that age?
You think he's so mature for his age?
Absolutely. The reading of the game belies his years.
It does indeed. I think a major part of Arsenal falling off at the last hurdle last season coincided with Saliba, but also Thomas Partey. And that's two key players in the defensive elements to help out. So they're going to have to pull other players in from other areas and try and fit them in. Whereas this season, you look at the players that they've got in, Declan Rice, as you mentioned, he's battle-hardened. He knows that he could play holding centre mid or he could play in defence if need be. So they've got the reinforcements wherever they need them, which I feel is going to be beneficial for them in the long run.
You know, on the back of that, I think, you know, you say he can play there or he can play central defence. But the thing about Declan is he takes responsibility. So
he's
if
a captain, isn't he?
Saliba does vacate that space, for example, he goes and he takes responsibility and fills in. He doesn't just become accomplished in one position. And I think that's very, you could say that about all of the players in the Arsenal team. They all are so adept now at assuming the kind of responsibility you need. The one area where I think they do have, it's not an issue anymore because we know that Wright is the #1 goalkeeper, but I think Ramsdale will leave in January because I think he'll have to. If he wants to have a chance of playing in the European Championship finals in the summer, he's got to play regular first-team football, and he won't be able to do that at Arsenal.
Right, so the No Room for Racism campaign continues across match round 9. The Premier League is nothing without diversity. Greatness comes from everywhere. Check this out.
What a weekend, though. What a win for Arsenal. And most significantly, what a win in terms of where this Premier League trophy is going to end up come the end of the season, because Spurs are top.
Yeah.
I feel you didn't react enough to that in the opener. I thought I'm going to have another go.
No, Kels, you don't need to, simply because I want Spurs to stay in and around it, because they've got to have the pressure of every week somebody saying, yeah, we'll see how you go. And then people start saying silly things like bottling it, whereas you've just got to stay there and just win the next game and see where you go. This is what happened with Leicester. You know, I'm just pleased that we're in it still. Like, you know, we needed to beat City. You know, if you're gonna win the league, the Premier League, and you're challenging City, then at some stage you're gonna have to beat them because you've got to beat the teams around you. But I think it's a great result for us, but it's a good result for Tottenham because it was a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really balanced, very calm answer that you're giving us on a Monday.
Because I went through this with Arsenal last season, so I'm not getting too carried away now.
Oh, really?
No,
oh, really? You're not getting too carried away?
No,
Let's
I'm
see
not getting
this.
carried away at all. No, see, that's out of context simply because that's like an
86-minute winner.
Yeah. So you're going to be excited, but like the reason why I'm excited is because we have to win the home games, right? And it is City, and they are, you know, the team that everybody's trying to beat. And it was a brilliant atmosphere in the stadium, and to score at that stage was brilliant. But like, again, it's just another brick in the wall for us.
Another brick in the wall, but a significant brick in the wall. If that's what Arsenal are trying to build, if they're trying to build towards a trophy at the end of this season, this is important.
Yeah, it gives them huge belief. I mean, they have to beat Man City, but they don't only have to beat them twice. Right, he's absolutely right. They need teams in and around them to beat Man City as well. They're the team everyone's chasing, let's face it. You know, they're proven winners, prolific winners of the competition. I just think that they need the likes of Tottenham to stay up there. They need to take points off them. Liverpool need to take points off them. Manchester United, if they can get into gear. Chelsea are coming.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very competitive at the moment. You know, it's a very exciting league. It's very early in the league. We know that.
It does feel like we're more than 8 games into the season because there's so much gone on already. And you're right, we can't start sort of predicting what's going to happen, but we're getting a bit of an idea as to where things, either where they're settling or where they might be going. But it wasn't the most exciting of games, Maiwa, in terms of, you know, action on the pitch. But it feels like a significant win. And more importantly, maybe for Arsenal, a deserved win.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't this entertaining game, but from a footballing perspective, seeing similar style teams go at each other was quite interesting. And I think Arsenal have to take those opportunities. No KDB, no Rodri. You're not going to get a better opportunity. And the fact that they can do that without their talisman being on the pitch, it shows a different sort of grit that loads of Arsenal sides have been mentioned not having before. So it was a really, really important win for them and well deserved. It was a great performance all around.
You know, the thing is, I found the game, to be honest, Mario, was quite defensive in the way that it wasn't an attacking like fest, like, oh, they're attacking you. It felt whoever's going to make that mistake defensively was going to lose the game. I didn't see it being a load of goals in this one. But I think that when you look at the way Arsenal changed it, he changed things. You know, unfortunately for Trossard, he got injured, but Martinelli coming on changed the dynamic for us with the pace what he brings. Then towards the end, there's Partey coming on, a little bit more stability in the back with somebody who's got control of the ball. And then the pass what he made is one of those passes that you're just not seeing hardly now with certain teams. They'll rather just pass it around the side. He passed it, good run from Kai Havertz into the box, and then you're able to get in off the back of like their midfield, and then we get the deflection. But I thought that the changes he made and the players coming on and, you know what I mean, do it like Doku. When Doku come in, he had to take Zinchenko off because, like, when he went past him the first time, he just went, boom, that's enough of that. You know, but, like, you look at City and people saying, oh, Rodri, no KDB, that is going to, any team's going to miss that. But they're still trying to bed players in. You know, Kovacic, you know, Doku coming on and trying to, Nunes. So there's still things that's happening where City are finding what they're trying to do. So if you could beat them, you've got to try and do it early, now, before they find their feet.
Yeah, and we'll come to City and how far off that performance is from where they potentially could be when those players are back. But from Arsenal's point of view, they didn't have Bukayo Saka either. That was the one that was making Arsenal fans nervous in the build-up to the game.
Yeah, listen, I think he's very close. He's not going to be out for long. Obviously, he was very close to it, not ready for the game. I just think that Declan Rice was a huge plus for them. If people asked, are Arsenal stronger this year than it was last year? Absolutely. When you sign a player like Declan Rice with his control, maturity in the middle of the pitch, breaks up the game. He's got more than that. But in the game yesterday, he knew his job. It was to break it up. It was to fill in front of Saliba, Gabriel, just be a protector. And that's exactly what he done. You know, he's a nuisance for Pep Guardiola and teams like that. If you want to try and exploit and get into them little pockets, he just puts out fires all the time. He's always there. It's like a bad smell, just will not go away. And Arsenal, brilliant signing for them, absolutely magnificent. And get Saka. They're going to need to keep Saliba fit and Gabriel.
Well, he said it himself, William Saliba. He said, "I'm the difference."
Well, I think he said, if I would have stayed fit all last season, we would have won the league.
Yeah,
they probably would on the record, you know. But when he's missing, they're not the same. I mean, why Mikel started without him early on the season without that partnership, you know, is beyond me. But they've clicked into gear now, and they look a real force, Arsenal. They really, really do. But I'd go again. We're only 8 games in, or wherever it is, and it's a very competitive league at this moment in time.
Yeah, he does make a big difference. It's better players, and does it feel like a more mature Arsenal as well, Mayowa?
Definitely. I think the last time when Arsenal City played, we saw Haaland's influence when he wasn't getting any joy with Saliba and he went over to Gabriel. That partnership in that game looked so much more efficient. They both knew how to handle it. You had Declan Rice there as well. They've grown in maturity. They've grown in ownership or onus as well. Saka's always been someone that started countless amount of games and always putting himself. But Martinelli came off the bench and said, I'm going to win at this game. And those are the things that make a difference. You compare it to City's performance. I didn't see anyone really taking onus of the game and saying that I'm going to win this big game for us. And there's still a lot more to come. A lot of people probably say their performances this season in some parts haven't been great, but a sign of a good team is you're able to win through adversity. So now, can they keep going with momentum is the key thing now. It's the perfect way to go into the international break.
But the thing as well, exactly, going into the international break, and the thing is that when you know, because they know they have to beat City at some stage, when you know that you do it and you can do it, and you can do it without, like you mentioned, our talisman in Saka, you could do it without your best player playing. That gives you such a confidence that you can beat anyone at home. And I'm not saying we played unbelievably, but they played well enough to beat the best team in the league. And that is now the pressure that they're on, all of them are on in that team, because now they have to go on and do it because they've shown that they can beat the best. So they have to beat the rest.
Do they look like they've learned from last season?
I hope so. It's still too early to tell. But the main thing is that they're not losing. If they were losing a couple of those games, you'd say, well, they haven't learned. Because what has to happen when you're starting the season with ambitions to win it, you cannot lose games. You just can't lose games. Especially, we didn't know City were going to lose 2 on the spin. Nobody could see that coming. So you have to try and stay because you know that City are capable of getting 100 points in a season.
Yeah.
So you literally can't lose anything. So this is the mindset that they've got, and this is what they've got to do now. Those are the things they've got to take into games and say, we can't lose.
A few games into the season, it felt like that might be what was about to happen, but it's not, because Arsenal's win hasn't just been, as we've been talking about, impressive for Arsenal. It hasn't just been helpful to Arsenal's title challenge. It's also been helpful for Tottenham, who stay top of the Premier League table. They're level on points with Arsenal, and it means that they are going to be going into this next round of fixtures after the international break with a chance to stretch their legs, potentially, at the top of the table. Because they don't play Manchester City for a good few games now. Arsenal look like they don't have too bad a run either. I mean, you look at Newcastle away, maybe. Not really sure where Chelsea are at the moment. We know Wolves have already caused Man City problems. City have got a really tough run of games. They've got Rodri back. They might, be starting to bring players in. Players, as you say, will be bedded in a bit more. But that looks like a really interesting set of fixtures for the 3 teams.
If you're in the dressing room now, Kels, and you see those fixtures coming back from the international break, if I'm Tottenham and Arsenal players, you're starting to feel we've got to take advantage of that, because I'm not saying that Man City are all of a sudden going to fall away, but that if they're going to trip up, there's games there they can trip up in. You just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with Brighton, Man United. I probably think City and Man United, this current Man United, you know what I mean? It calls them a problem. Bournemouth, no. But Chelsea, you don't know. Liverpool, it's a tough set of games where I'm in the Arsenal dressing room, I'm saying, listen, we've got to really focus on winning these games and make sure we do not lose any of these games, because if City are going to drop points, I think it's going to be in that next run of games.
Yeah.
What's key to it is how he gets the job done in the Champions League, doesn't he? Always makes a point, let's not slip up in the Champions League early on. Let's get it done, put it to bed. We can worry about it after Christmas. And I think he's done that. He's put himself in a very good position to be able to do that. Arsenal haven't. Yeah,
I was going to ask the question about, where priorities might come into that. But we saw last season that Manchester City solved that problem by just winning 3 trophies. So they didn't really decide to prioritise one or the other. They just, we'll just win all of them.
Took the eye off the ball on the Carabao, I thought.
I know, sloppy.
Stamford Bridge. I'm Derek Ray, joined by Lee Dixon in the commentary position, and every reason to believe we're in for an entertaining match here. It's Chelsea, and they take on Accrington Stanley.
Cheers, Derek. Yes, excited about this one. Interesting match-up for me. We should get a good game here, hopefully.
Here's the lineup for Chelsea. Antonio Rudiger starts alongside Thiago Silva in central defence. And the focal point in attack today, Timo Werner. N'Golo Kanté in the middle. But it can't get all the way through. Sustained pressure, and now they have the ball. And the emphasis is on creativity. Chances on. And a goal! Not bad for starters. They take an early lead.
Well, here's the goal again, and it's a great ball to put him through. And when he gets through to the keeper, he just smashes it past him and gives him no chance to think. A lovely finish.
So the match has restarted, 1-0 here. Michael Nottingham with it. And cut out by... times do we say that? Azpilicueta. Bishop. And he's made headway. Can they stop it going in? And in the end, no damage done. Jorginho. Timo Werner. And showing fine vision. It's opened up for him. Well, showing... And a goal! And you've got to say, they definitely took a deflection off the defender.
Well, here we see a better angle on it. There's nothing the keeper can do. A significant deflection, and he's beaten.
Well, the goal again, albeit from a different angle.